My first rhetorical term is denotation. Denotation is the strict, literal, dictionary definition of a word, devoid of any emotion, attitude, or color. For example, the word gay means lighthearted and carefree in the dictionary, but a lot of people know it to mean homosexual. Another example is the word chick, because its dictionary definition means a baby bird, but a lot of people use it to reference women. My second rhetorical term is narrative. A narrative is the telling of a story or an account of an event or series of events. The first example of a narrative is Don Quixote. Don Quixote is a tale of a man who is determined to be a knight. The story is told in a series of events in chronological order as the story goes along, which is why it is considered a narrative. The next example of narrative is the story of The Hobbit, in which the main character Bilbo Baggins is followed along his many adventures through Middle-earth.
Hi class! So today I'm going to be talking about homily and colloquialism. So a homily is literally a sermon or any serious talk, speech, or lecture providing moral or spiritual advice. So how we see that in literature is all the examples from, or the speeches from Martin Luther King Jr., they all were for the people and trying to awaken them and correct their moral behavior. We see it in actually in To Kill a Mockingbird, how Scout Finch sits in church every Sunday, listens to her pastor as he gives his weekly homily. So in today, we're pretty much given a homily or a lecture I know I am every week, pretty much, from my parents about school, grades, sports, college, all that stuff, or like if I'm being disrespectful, there's a lecture. But I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to that. But even since our school is Catholic and pretty much I'm not gonna say all of us are religious, but a majority of Paraclete we all have sit through Mass, which is a homily, Sunday church, Sunday Mass, So, in literature, colloquialism is the use of informal phrases or even slang in a piece of writing. And as writers, being a part of a society, are influenced by the way people speak in that society. So, in Great Gatsby, they did not use the slang we use today of like lit, fun. They said what Miss Johnson talked to us about. So in different time periods, there's going to be different uses of informal language. And naturally, they are bound to add colloquial expressions to their vocabulary. So examples in everyday life. I know we don't say the word bamboozle, but that means to deceive. Bow bananas or go nuts means go insane or be very angry. Wanna is want to. Gonna, going to. Y'all, you all. Be blue is to be sad. Buzz off, go away. And I think in our time, finna is like I'm going to do something. So I honestly don't even know how that got brought up, but whatever. So, and then we see colloquialism in Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. We read that. we see it in multiple literature writings. Pretty much all lit books that we've read, because the writers use colloquialism to sound not so like textbook and informal. It kind of lets the readers like poke into their like how they speak every day, and not so like formal, you know. But just a little more insight into colloquialism. Colloquial expressions in a piece of literature may give us deep insights into the writer's society. They tell us about how people really talk in their real lives. Therefore, they help a writer to form strong connections with the reader. Colloquial expressions impart a sense of realism to a piece of literature, which again attracts readers as they identify it with their real life. Moreover, they add variety to the characters, which makes them more interesting and memorable. So that's all I have for homily and colloquialism. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about them. So, alright, bye.
Good morning. Hi guys. Today I'll be teaching you what an apostrophe is and what an understatement is. First up, apostrophe. No, it is not this. An apostrophe is a figure of speech that directly addresses an absent or imaginary person or personified abstraction. An example of this would be like if you're walking around at Disneyland for a whole day and you're talking to your feet. You're saying, "Oh feet, please don't fail me now. Oh feet, please don't fail me now." Next up, we have understatement. An understatement, it's like the exact opposite of a hyperbole. It's the minimizing fact, and it represents something less significant than what it really is. An example of an understatement is like if you're cutting wood or something and you accidentally cut off your arm and you just say, "Oh, it's just a little cut." That's an understatement. So just a little recap. An apostrophe it's addressing something that's like personified or not there, and an understatement is like belittling something or making it not sound as important as it actually is. Bye guys.
We speak student.
Themes a la Schmook. What if a theme park was really a theme park? You could ride a roller coaster that explores the loss of innocence, or take a terrifying ride up the Tower of Cultural Diversity, or maybe even go for a spin in the teacups of separation and loss. Yeah, so maybe themes are better suited to stories and essays than amusement park rides. At least you don't have to be a certain height to read a book, usually. A theme is quite simply the central idea explored in any piece of writing. You need a theme. Otherwise, what's the purpose of writing anything at all? You'd just be left with a story that meanders between completely unrelated characters or plot points, or a paper that ambles from one disjointed argument to another. Your teachers have read stuff like that. Trust us, they're not super fans.
I wish I could give it a G.
Okay, so that definition of the word.
Alright, so my two rhetorical devices are theme and anaphora. You guys just watched a video on theme, and to review a little bit, theme is the central idea explored in a piece of writing. Themes unite the characters and storyline into something that makes sense. Themes we often see in stories are friendship, courage, and jealousy. There can be multiple themes in a story, such as in Harry Potter. Not only is friendship seen, but good versus evil, bravery, love are all present. There are also themes in the world, such as individual versus society. This can be seen in our classroom with the AP Lang students versus Miss Johnston. It's an individual versus a group of us, a society. My other device is anaphora. Anaphora is a rhetorical device that is the repetition of a word or phrases in successive clauses or phrases. Anaphora is the literary device in which phrase is repeated at the beginning of the clause or sentences. Anaphora's purpose is to emphasize a particular point. For example, it rained on the dry ground. It rained on the slippery road. It rained all over the place. So anaphora is present there in it rained. Another example from Of Mice of Men is it was silent outside. The silence came into the room, and the silence lasted. So it's pretty obvious there that anaphora is being used in silence. All right, peace out.